to help you really change the way you look at yourself and the world. We developed this program, as I mentioned, 3 years ago at PCOM. We've had over 180 graduates who've come through our program. And that has included patients in our healthcare system, staff at our college, faculty, providers across the spectrum, and students. We began our program as an in-person, had been running it as an in-person program, and have been working really wonderfully. And then the pandemic hit, and we adapted it to a fully virtual model where you still are able to participate as actively through audio and video, as well as chat, and building a sense of a positive community when you're faced with this increasing isolation. We help people, I'd like to say we help people feel more consistently happy in their everyday lives. And we have a simple foundation for what we do. And I want to go over this kind of simple foundation before I give you a little bit of a taste of the experiential side of what you would encounter in our full 7-week program. And the first is positive attention. You know, we have a tendency to be drawn into negative news events, negative thinking, negative feelings as a result of what's happening around us in our environment and within ourselves.
There's a connectivity test.
And that's really natural. I'm hearing.
Okay, say I say join session now. I click on that.
I'm hearing a little bit of an open mic. So I'll kind of.
I muted all participants.
We are not able to hear. Excuse me.
Yeah, hi.
We're not able to hear you.
No.
Hello.
We cannot able to hear.
You can't hear it first.
Hey, look, Mora.
Scott, we cannot hear you.
The best details.
Alpita, we cannot able to hear speaker's voice. Can you please check your side?
Yeah, where's Scott gone? I muted all participants, but it muted him also. What is this?
So that
I have muted myself. Can you hear me? Can you still hear me?
What the hell? उसने अनम्यूट किया, उसने उसको वो ही नहीं अनम्यूट हो पा रहा।
Hello. Yeah, this is Scott. I'm well. How are you? Yes. Yes. Thank you for calling back. Okay, so we have the product that, so we've been trying to figure out a way to sell it as, we wanted, the fresh veggie version of it, and because it's a great product, we've done a lot of research and user testing and such for the product. The challenge is the shelf life of completely fresh veggies with, such a variety and such, and so we're dabbling now with looking at maybe a frozen version, because I think that a frozen version would maintain the nutrition, but increase the shelf life and the distribution possibilities. Right, you said 15 months, 18 months. Okay, yeah, that's really appealing to hear that. Yeah, we're in Utah. That's right. Yeah, it's a product that was developed based on, and you probably heard this, that other product do the same thing, based on a lot of research. But first, we found that we had a really good
all right, so sorry everybody, we're having some technical difficulties. We're gonna, let me see if I can share my screen again. And we'll come back to the foundations of the program. So we left off in talking about positivity as a skill, and that's what we work on building in A Happier You. So we encourage people and give them the tools to practice accessing these realms of positivity, like gratitude, playfulness, a sense of what are your personal strengths, thinking about those strengths and finding examples in your life, as well as building a positive community. So one of the things we've noticed works really well is when people are able to share positive events in their lives, positive thoughts about themselves, and strengths with each other. There's a kind of a social spark that really spreads across our participants. I'm still hearing some folks talking in the background. If you could mute your mics, that would be great as we kind of move through this presentation. One of the other things that we are really excited about is how positive feelings, when those are built up within us and brought out, really help us bond with other people. They also help us think more creatively and solve problems more easily. These are the upward spirals that have been studied. So when you feel good, you're more likely to try to work your way out of different situations which could be difficult, and you have the more resources to do that because you feel good. We also know that positive feelings are connected to improved well-being and health. So you can feel better physically, have better sleep, be less depressed. Emotionally, you might also find that you're exercising more, have more energy during the day. All of this idea of emotional well-being tied in with physical well-being, the two really interact. And that's what being a faculty at an osteopathic medical school, we believe in the mind-body connection, and that you can have different routes into wellness, either through the mind, through the body, or through both. And the other aspect of our program in bringing out positive emotions is that people seem to cope better with life difficulties. They don't, those problems that hit us, whether it's a flat tire or a stressful conversation with a coworker or a friend, those stresses don't seem to impact us as much when we have this other reservoir that we've built up of positive feeling, thinking, and doing. And that's what our program is really excited about. One of the things that we typically do is help people capture good moments. And to do that, we have them submit photographs of those moments. So this is another example of fundamentally shifting your attention away from what's going wrong to what's going well in your life. And then we expand the effects of that shift in attention by asking you questions and helping you ask yourself questions. Why is this making me feel so good right now? What are some things I did to lead to, let's say it's a wonderful conversation with a family member or a friend. The more we dive into those good moments, the more we're putting them under the spotlight, and the more of the positive effects emotionally, physically, spiritually that we can experience. And it's really through this spotlighting process that you begin to fundamentally change how you think about the world and how you act in the world and what you believe, I think, about yourself and the world. It really is a kind of transformational process. And to demonstrate that here, I'd like you all to think about a positive moment that happened to you today already. I'd like you to bring that moment, if you can, into your mind and really replay it as if you're streaming it, like you're downloading the Netflix movie of that moment and replaying that right now and just really seeing what was it about that moment that made you feel so good. Really bringing it to the center of your attention. Who was there with you? What if somebody was there with you, what did they say or do? What did that moment mean about you and your life? Perhaps it means that you can get through even the toughest of circumstances. Perhaps you were connected with love. Perhaps you were feeling joy or lightness. Maybe it was just as simple a moment as walking outside and feeling the sunlight on the back of your neck. All of these things that you were experiencing in this moment, you're holding now with you in the present. And you are actually now engaged in re-scripting your attention. You're turning your attention into a positive reservoir of good feelings and good thoughts. I'd like you to hold that with you as we go through the rest of this presentation. And thinking about our program, what are the core positivity skill areas that you would develop? Well, the first is just what we did with that positive moment, really starting to look intentionally for positive events during your week. In the second week of the program, we help you systematically delve into what are your unique personal strengths and what are some successes based on those strengths. We also look at, in week 3, gratitude, feelings of thankfulness. How do we harness and cultivate gratitude in our lives in ways which we are filled with the gifts around us versus a deficit mindset, versus looking at what we don't have, what's going wrong. That's a key to changing your life in really dramatic and durable ways. Gratitude practice is something that we encourage participants to work into their routines, just like looking at past successes and personal strengths, just like looking at positive events. Every module that we have is another step up in how you can add different routines to your day, different thought processes to your day, morning, middle of the day, in the evening, wherever it might work best for you. Week 4, we dive into humor and playfulness. There's evidence that when we're feeling more playful and laughing more, we actually feel better health-wise, physically, emotionally. We feel more connected to other people through laughter and playfulness and lightness. So that's week 4. And then we're moving into week 5, where we really help you identify what are some enjoyable and meaningful activities across the spectrum of my weeks. What do I want to add more of? Have I, since the pandemic started, have I lost some enjoyment? I know that I have really lost some of my routine in exercising. That has been an incredibly enjoyable and meaningful activity pre-pandemic that has waned a bit. So I personally want to bring that back more into my days and weeks. And so what is it for you? So we would talk about that in week 5. Week 6, we would move into kindness. There is an emerging bed of research about kindness and how kindness really enhances well-being, both for you and the recipient of kindness if you're the giver. If we pay attention to the kindness that we are given by others, that we give to ourselves as well as others, we can create a better world. We can create an environment and a society in which we are not looking to be adversarial and to be enemies with one another, but rather we are looking to socially connect and help each other through the tough times and the good times. So kindness is a core principle that you can activate through our program in an intentional way at a personal level, environmental level, working level, societal level, community level. And finally, we wrap up our program with love. And we talk about expanding the boundaries of love. How can we get more in touch with loving kindness? If any of you are familiar with Buddhism and Eastern philosophy, it really stresses this practice of sending love to others as well as ourselves. So this full spectrum is the course of our program. We also, in emphasizing the skills of feeling good, we have some tools. And those tools include an app that we would give you lifetime access to. The app has all of the materials, all of the activities, all of the instructions for each of the weeks. So let's say you need to miss a week of the program. You can go right to our mobile app, look at what we talked about, download the worksheets, and complete the exercises. So you don't miss a beat. We also have a workbook, which you can download and print off of that as well. Practice is the key to really consolidating these positivity skills. And one thing I want you to know is that our exercises are simple and engaging. So for instance, we ask everybody to take a personal strength survey, which is free. It's part of the program, where it identifies your top 24 personal strengths. We also ask people to write a gratitude letter. And that's a simple expression of thankfulness to something or someone in your life, living or past, who really captures a gift that you've been given. And then we ask you to share that letter with somebody. And what we've noticed is it really intensifies the power of gratitude when we're able to capture it in words and then express it verbally. One of the exercises is lightness catching. Lightness catching means the sharing within our groups, within our community that we create, of something that makes you laugh, something light, something playful. And, of course, we want it to be appropriate and, something that's not going to offend, but we really encourage laughter and feeling good with one another through that exercise. And finally, and acts of kindness, these are just examples. Each week we have different activities, but with acts of kindness, I'm getting a note from Alpida that my presentation isn't full screen, but I am seeing on my end that the presentation is full screen, so I'm not sure how that's coming across to you. So the acts of kindness, we're performing an act of kindness is a really important step too in the program. And we ask you to come back and talk about what was that kindness like. We also stay connected with you through booster emails. We have a newsletter. We do check-ins and reminders throughout the week in between sessions. So there's a continuity. There's a continuity of what you experience through the program. We want to bolster your happiness through these touch points. We also have a Facebook group with over 2,000 members that helps you with positive prompts each day to really consolidate those skills, to bring those skills to the surface. We are a diverse group. Among our 2,000 members on Facebook, we have people who are representative of countries around the world. and we take pride in the fact that positivity knows no boundaries. No matter what race, religion, personal background, we all can contribute to feeling better around each other and feeling better within ourselves. And our program really produces those kinds of sparks. If you can't see the full screen here, I will send my PowerPoint out afterward. The data tells a story. So we've collected some data around how effective is our program. So we've had very, very high ratings in terms of effectiveness of facilitation, helpfulness of discussions and activities, the group interaction being really positive, the usefulness of the positivity skills and the application of those skills between sessions. People felt that it was extremely well organized and well run, and they would recommend it to others. We also wanted to look at well-being outcomes. So how did people feel when they came through our program? We saw more control over positivity. People were saying that they felt positive more consistently, and improved relationship quality, increased work productivity, just to name a few of those outcomes. So we don't just want to say, yes, this will make you feel better, but we want to look at what are the people saying who've been through the program. We want to look at the data. We're really evidence-based and want to be data-driven. What do participants say? So here are just some examples of statements by our participants. One person said, I feel like it helped me look at things in my life differently and with a more positive lens. And I think that speaks to this real paradigm shift in attitude, perception, that you begin to look at what happens to you through a whole different viewpoint. Enhancing control. So one person said to us, I have more ability to see good in the current craziness of life. Isn't that what we all want, right? To be able to pick out the good moments and not dwell on what's bringing us down. Boosting resilience. So I learned how to change my attitude to a more positive one, especially during a difficult time or during a bad day. So we can really rapidly increase a sense of how we can bounce back from the tough things that happen to us through this program. And that's what we want too, right? To be able to shift our perspective, to put the negative in proper perspective. We've also created some buzz. So our program's been covered on NPR. CBS News did a syndicated feature segment on our program that was distributed across the country. We've been on Sirius XM Doctor Radio as well as WHYY and NBC 10 Philadelphia. So I'm out of Cherry Hill and in the Philadelphia area, but we seek to become really a national program. We're growing really rapidly right now, and we really want to invite you into our community, and we are building your positive community. So we specialize in offering this program to agencies, workplaces, corporations. Is one of our goals is to expand into the corporate wellness world. But let's say you have a group of 15, 20 people that you'd like a personalized session of Happier You for. We can do that. We can customize that for your agency. Individually, through Psychonline, if you want to participate in this program, I'll come back to our leadership team, but our next session starts next Friday, November 20th from 12 to 1. If we have enough people, I think we need to reach a certain number of people in order to run this program. So we do encourage you to register. But going back to our leadership team, that's me. I founded and directed this program for the past 3 years. Also, Dr. Ryan has been the lead facilitator and coordinator, and Janessa Brown has also been a lead trainer and coordinator for what we do. We also have a number of other trainers who are participating in guiding folks. So what does this cost? The program costs $20 a session. It's $140 for the entire program. And it's usually, that's an extremely discounted rate. Really, and even $280 for 7 hours plus all of these extra tools that you get is kind of a rock bottom price. But we want to make this accessible to people who are really struggling financially during the pandemic. It's less than most copays, and we feel like what we provide is significantly powerful. That will be something that you just stays with you, and that's what people say. It just stays with them after that 7 weeks. My information is up here. You can contact me as my cell phone, help@ahappier.you.org. And I believe, I'm not sure if our host today, Alpida and Scott, if he's here, have the opportunity to share a link with you in the chat to register for that session. But we are definitely would be looking forward to having you be a part of that. So I'm gonna, I'll just be open to take any questions right now. Feel free to enter those questions in the chat. Let me know kind of you know, what you're thinking about. Oh, I just saw the link pop up, and this you can just register today if you'd like. And I will be personally running this session, to let you know. So it is a really kind of a, you know, we typically have smaller groups, so groups between, you know, 10 and 15. We probably wouldn't run the session if we just have a few people sign up. So, but what we would do is kind of reserve for kind of a subsequent session. All right, do I have any questions? I'm going to type this in the chat window. What else? What can I answer for you? Feel free to unmute yourself now.
Scott, insightful conversation about happiness and how we can actually implement positivity with many of us. So I think I'm really looking forward to the 7 sessions.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, it really is. You know, quite, once people go through the 7 sessions, they want more, and we're going to be working on kind of follow-up modules for the program. Is there anything else I can answer for you? Is there one thing positive that you would like to share?
I see somebody had unmuted themselves.
Yeah, I did too.
Any questions, anybody?
Yep, any questions that I can answer for you? All right, well, if not, then I thank you for being here. I apologize for some of the technical difficulties early on of getting disconnected, but I'm glad that you hung in there with us. So we hope that you'll join, and certainly I'm going to also put my email address in the chat window. It's livingyourupside@gmail.com. And you know, hoping to bring this to more people. So so hopefully we can see you. See you soon.
Okay, great. Just before we end, I would really like to thank Scott for his time. And does anybody have any questions? I see a few people have just joined. Dr. Veena Vani, I guess if you'd like to get a copy of the presentation, we can share that with you. Scott is going to have a 7-week course in the next few weeks, and we can share that information as well with you.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so I guess we can close it out if there are no other questions.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Scott. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye-bye.